celebrating my anniversary of starting cigars smoking. I was 34, almost turning 35, and I knew that I needed to pick up a new habit. It was in the middle of COVID, and I was going to be doing an out of town business trip. So there was a rumor going around that having nicotine in your system would have done something of keeping the COVID out of your system. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I started by going out to a tobacconist. They gave me 3 cigars. The first was this Baccarat The Game. The second was Underground Shade from Drew State. And the third was a Cuba from Drew State. I am not going to revisit that Cuba. It's definitely something that I'm not interested in at all. But a good friend hooked me up with one of these. So I figure it's really good to check this out. We will be checking out the Underground Shade again real soon. It's August 2025. I started in August 2022. Been doing the channel for almost 2 years, but did a lot of smoking in my first year. A lot of trial and error of trying to develop my palate. We've had a lot of revisits since then. A lot of them off camera. In the last live, we had notability for the JC Newman Underground, or JC Newman Diamond Crown Natural. That's a great cigar. I didn't like it when I first started, so we'll see how this ends up going. I've never played Baccarat. Yep, I am not a fan of the sweet tip, so it definitely, I'm a little apprehensive, but the buddy that gave this to me gave me some other sweet tips, so we've been getting through them. That is super cool, Matt. Thank you for tuning in. My buddy Sober Cigars, sponsor for the channel. Thank you, brother. But curious if anybody likes sweet tip. I think that a lot of times it's either trying to hide bitterness or create too much artificial sweetness. I like the natural sweetness in cigar, or even go all the way with the flavorings. I don't mind a flavored cigar or aromatic pipe tobaccos, but I haven't really been enjoying the sweet cap. It being my first cigar, I could always tell when it's got a sweet cap. We are going to be doing the Sober Mesa series that I got all the different ones. So we are going to know for sure if that Brulee Blue ends up having a sweet cap, because I know it from a mile away blindfolded. So we're going to do the live light. I am not changing the channel for TOS. I hope I'm not messing up my brothers and sisters for the content creating. Definitely don't want to rock any waves, but I'm a really small channel, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. We are just shy of 200 subs. We're at 199. So we are going to be doing a celebration for that, on top of celebrating the 3 years smoking. I did fuck up lighting it. It's a little windy, so that even the jet moves a little bit, but so it is really light. Maybe the sweet cap is helping this cigar a little bit. There's just not a whole lot of flavor in the tobacco. Really good on the retrohale. I don't think I was retroing when I first smoked this. age restricted, 21 and up. Kids aren't even trying to get cigars anyway, so it's not a big deal. Doce far niente. I don't know what that means, but story of this cigar, it was blended and created when the Iroa family was running Camacho. It was one of their budget brands they were putting out, and the sweet cap was by accident. They didn't mean to do it, and they liked it, so they just kept doing it. I can see it being too mild, that it is adding something. But it being a really light retrohale, I wasn't retroing very much. I kind of developed a lot of my palate in the first year just off of regular mouthfeel. Very smooth. Got a lot of butter, kind of cashew butter on the retrohale, like no spice at all. And a little bit bready. So I'm actually quite surprised. I wasn't sure if I was going to be liking this at all. I do like it. It's probably out of the revisit for the sweet cap. It's doing pretty good. Oh, my wife's here. Hey, wife. What's up, Tara? Yeah, so the bready notes are pretty good. It doesn't have that raisin note that I'm always looking for, but these you could get pretty cheap. Definitely not in the store. They're too much in the store, but buying it online, you could probably get a good deal on these. I wouldn't smoke this after a long day of smoking other stuff just because it's too light. Maybe it might be a good nightcap just to smoke the final third or the first third and toss it. But if you're going to smoke the whole thing, smoke on a fresh palate. I didn't know that there's a Baccarat with the darker shade. I got to check that out because I don't care for the regular production Camacho. Pretty much all the Camachos that I have liked are discontinued. So out of the sub brands that are not a Davidoff or Zeno, I kind of like this. Definitely we'll check out the dark one. We'll check that out. I recently was watching one of the Pick Jimmy videos that he was talking about value of cigars, and kind of he got into a deep topic of do you need to be okay with being miserable to get through to the happier times, or to sacrifice your happiness for other people. He also was talking value of cigars, that certain cigars hit above their price point, especially if you get them at the price that they're supposed to be intended, and that there's a lot of cigars that are overpriced. It's why we smoke a lot. Why we smoke a lot of different stuff, to try to hunt down what fits our palate, what hits for the occasions, daily smokes and celebration smokes, and things that age well or don't, and kind of where those fit for us. I did try to see what his first review was, and it was a Baccarat The Game. So shouts out to DJ. He gave me a good shout out for 2025 for y'all to watch for me as a channel. I'm trying to do some fun stuff. I got tons of editing still to do for the growing series. I got to review more coffees, but I've been trying to be more selective with the type of content. Especially, there's a lot of really good reviewers out, and y'all don't need me to beat everyone to the punch. I like to end up smoking something that got a story, symbolic for whatever reason. These revisits are kind of fun to see. Do I still like the stuff that opened the door. I swear that Cuba Cuba, I don't know on how that thing is so popular. It is so not quite floral detergent, but it's just really artificial sweet to the max. It probably has an okay aroma, but I couldn't tell smoking it out by the hotel pool when I was out of town. But that was my first cigar. I probably wouldn't continue, but luckily that was the third. I bought 3 cigars. The Undercrown after this Baccarat kept me in the game, and then the next 3 I knew to kind of stay away for the infused. Yeah, smoking perfume. It's really awkward. I love my aromatic tobaccos. My wife Tara was helping me go through the pipe tobacco collection and try to find some aromatics. Yeah, the floral terps is just, I get everybody's got other preference on their palate. I don't mind the Java. The Java mint has got a nice, good peppermint patty type of flavor to it. Tara ended up getting me one when I think it was my first Father's Day of being a smoker. You're good. You're good. Um, they're too expensive in the store. The Java series, but it's not sweet and cap, and it's just really good construction. Just too expensive, but I don't mind those. I would smoke those maybe once a year. Yeah, pretty nice construction. Not really stacking dimes, but got a good burn line. It's got a good draw. The Corona Gorda is a good size. I probably tend to the smaller ring gauge where I can, but I still smoke the Robusto and Toros, even Gordos. The Javas are kind of supposed to be more coffee centric a little bit. I think we only had me try the Java Mint, which is very York peppermint patty forward. But there's like 4 or 5 of them. There's like a brown coffee looking one. There's the green for the Java Mint. There's a red. I can't think of the names for them, but those are probably good entry for a lot of people that don't really have the ability to pick up natural tobacco notes. But they are expensive, so you kind of need to get them at a deal, or really non-regular smokers. It's not a big deal when you're just buying a couple cigars for the month. But I love it. It's definitely, other than hanging out with family and my dogs, probably my number one hobby. I just really love the journey of enjoying tobacco, learning to grow and roll tobacco for myself is really awesome. I haven't really kept a good log of how many cigars I've smoked in the 3 years. I would like to think it's near approaching the above 500. I'm not sure if it's at 1,000 yet, because that's probably close to smoking every day, one cigar. But there's times that I smoke multiple cigars in a day. Learning on what type of cigars to smoke, depending on the time between the cigars, is always interesting. Because you don't want to be smoking something that's too mild after something that's really rich and kind of blows out your palate. It's good to end up having the balance. Yeah, probably around 1K cigars. which I really appreciate the community looking out for me. Being in San Diego, trying to get my career further, it's really hard to enjoy this hobby, right? A lot of the better quality, pricier cigars that you got to end up pacing it through. I try not to smoke too much. What's up, hobby? Yeah, Matt, the talking about Carpenter teaching you on the don't smoke those at the end. That's definitely great info. He's definitely a good friend trying to teach us about certain stuff of how to uh, enjoying cigars, the having the horizontal view. I really like the horizontal view. We got to figure that out. But Javi, we are revisiting my first cigar that I've ever smoked, the Baccarat The Game. It's got a sweet cap, but it's not overly sweet. The age probably has helped. On top of the sweet cap, it kind of got a bready cashew butter note. It's really, really light with no spice, but that allows me to really utilize the retro. I was not retroing these when I first smoked it. It was good enough an experience back then that I smoked the other two cigars that I picked up the first time. So it's cool that this one is a good revisit so far. We're still only in the first third, but it's hitting pretty nice. Yeah, we got a lot to still try to get through in the next couple months. I got to be really good on planning because I'm taking my first criminal justice online class on top of keep pushing through with the background investigators to get into the program. So I got to do well on getting the recorded videos out. There's a couple things that I want to get through before October's over. We want to do the Bricktoberfest cigars that Leo gave me with the Oktoberfest beer. Want to do the Halloween smokes for the Tatuaje Skinny Monster series. Gonna do the La Giana 30 year for my birthday video. I share the same birthday that the cigar was made for. Dave at Two Guys, also the owner of United Tobacco, his daughter shares the same birthday as me. So it's really cool to have that cigar. It's a barber pole, pretty interesting. Javi, you helped me get the last pieces I needed for the Sober Mesa shootout. So I'm going to try to get that done this summer. It's creeping along ahead. I can't believe it's already almost September, one last week. Yep, my birthday is going to be a Saturday. We are doing an event smoke on the Friday, October 3rd. So if you're not in the Cigars and Bandit Discord, go join one of the Patreons so you could tag into the events. We don't always do the big events in YouTube, so the platform there is a lot easier. Javi helped me locate the Davidoff Beer, the Rabbit cigar, and we're going to smoke that. It's also celebrating Shaunalicious's birthday on the 3rd. So he loves Opus. So you got the choice of banging Davidoff or Opus or both. It's going to be pretty fun. I'll probably still be smoking on my birthday, but I want to make sure that the social time is balanced, and if they want me to do dinner or whatever, that we got time to do it. We found some really good Chinese food that uses, they have, it's kind of like Panda, but I think it's a couple steps up. It's got the fried rice and chow mein, but they use these Singaporean rice noodles. It is really nice. Yeah, it is going to be a big party. I'm sorry, wife, to monopolize that Friday, but you get all the Saturday. I won't be on my phone all crazy. We'll definitely spend the time. But what up, Crispin? Um, yeah, I think the going and eating there is really nice. Their service is really good. Crispin, I am doing the revisit of the first cigar I've ever smoked, the Baccarat The Game. I was really hesitant on this because the sweeten cap, it definitely is sweeten cap, but utilizing the full retro and stuff is real nice. A lot of flavor, actually. I think this cigar probably could have benefited of not being sweeten cap. It was designed not to be. They accidentally sweetened the cap back in the Iroa days before Camacho was bought up, and they kept doing it. I think the cigar still probably sells a lot. I don't see any of my friends really smoking it, but a lot of shops will have these. And we learned from Sober Cigars Matt that they come with a dark wrapper on one of the blends. So we will be getting that to try out. But yeah, a lot of sweetness, kind of bready, cashew butter. It's pretty good. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, that's cool. That is a lot of people's earlier smokes. I know 1T smoked this pretty early. It was DJ's first review for Pick Jimmy. Um, Javi had the Rocky Patel 1999 Connecticut. The Rockies are pretty good. Right on. Yeah, I probably would have this a lot more if it didn't have the sweet cap. I got to figure out kind of what to do to try to wipe the sweet cap off, if that's even possible. It makes me feel like I just licked a bunch of, or ate a sugar packet. I don't mind the flavored smokes, but the sweet cap is just a really awkward taste. So at the end, when the cigar is done being rolled, they make a juice to dump in. They use different type of sweeteners, honey. This one, yeah, it's like a coating. So as it's in your mouth and you're puffing, you kind of notice it with the tobacco flavors. I probably wouldn't mind if it was more of a natural sweetness. Yeah, rub peanut butter on the cap. Probably peanut butter would be more enjoyable. It probably would affect the smoke, but I don't know on who the heck these are blended for. I could only think of it being not good. Vinegar is used a lot in the process, so I think if you ended up wiping it off with like a vinegar water solution and then let it sit for a year or so, the vinegar would dissipate, because when they're fermenting, a lot of times to keep the mold away, they'll utilize some type of alcohol, water, vinegar solution to re-wet the tobacco while they're fermenting. So vinegar is usually pretty acceptable. So we'll try that on one of these. But the ash is holding up pretty good. I'm pretty surprised that the ash is holding up nice. Oh, it spilled. Luckily, this isn't the wife's car. Yeah, really good draw. Nice solid burn line. I'm overall pretty happy for the first third. Yeah, sweet caps are used to introduce people to cigars. I think you're right, Javi. I know that some people still like these. I know Skinny loves that uh, Metropolitan Host for a nightcap cigar. It got a sweet cap. It probably, when you have a blown palate, it probably gives you something nice, sweet to kind of dissipate the tobacco sickness. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not smoking in your car, I promise. Don't smoke in your wife's car. She will definitely not appreciate it. Be nice, especially if she's giving you your time to smoke. Be nice. So, some people smoke either too fast or too many. They kind of not only overcoat their taste buds, they kind of agitate the taste buds where you stop being able to taste the cigar. Um, that can even happen in a long-term period. A lot of people, especially if they're cigarette smokers, don't have the ability to really enjoy the more nuanced, mild smokes. I Ways to remedy that is to make sure that you're smoking with proper humidity, not smoking too often, having breaks. Sometimes Leo said that he would end up taking multiple days off if he's been smoking too many in a week, just to kind of give his palate a break. One of the things you can get is tongue bite. Um, I've only experienced that a couple times on cigars, more on the pipe tobacco because the moisture levels on the pipe tobacco are really heavy sometimes, and the extra sugars kind of do something in the smoke. But the tongue bite is kind of like when you drink really hot coffee and you burn your taste buds. But that type of numbness ends up happening. There you go. Hobby's kind of explaining it a little bit more. Heavy cigars will burn out your palate. And there are a lot of reviewer and media channels that smoke a lot. One of our big news outlets, Half Wheel, will smoke 3 cigars to qualify to get their rating. When you're having to smoke too often to try to get those reviews out, it's really rare that they have a lot of mild smokes in their list. So I'm glad they do a consensus list for us that have lighter palates. They still have a chance to make it on the community score list of top cigars of the year. Because I understand that a lot of people like the more bold, peppery cigar, but I really like the lighter stuff. I like to take my time. I like to be able to retrohale. I will still smoke a heavier cigar if I have eaten really well before, or the lighter cigars are kind of where I've been gravitating towards. If I want to start enjoying more medium and medium plus, I'll kind of smoke a full body, full strength cigar to end up getting my palate adjusted and then go back to the kind of medium level. But not a lot of transition, very smooth, really easy on the toasted bread, cashew butter note. The sweet cap has kind of gone away. I don't really get the cap super wet. Like some people really chew on the end of their cigar, so that probably would activate more of the sweetened cap. But I'm overall enjoying it. I want to see if I can remove the sweet cap and see what that cigar is like. Want to end up getting the darker wrapper and smoke that with Matt, or at least compare notes. But it's pretty fun that I've been able to at least log the second 2 years of my journey. I knew that I wanted it. What up, Inno? Innocent. We still got a schedule for me to get on your show. But I started smoking in August 2022. I didn't start the channel until December 23, but I knew I wanted to start doing it. So I started taking pictures and shooting a little bit of video before putting my first video out in January 24, to kind of go through my journey of being able to smoke not only different blends but different price points, and to be able to appreciate them. It's really cool to kind of build your palate. I remember catching COVID and having to reset my palate from losing taste and smell. I do like a lot of sweeter tobacco. I'm still kind of gravitate towards the Honduran tobacco, but I've been learning that this year, especially, I've been liking a lot of Dominican. I still like a lot of Cameroon wrapper, but I like a lot of Dominican. There's a lot of Dominican smokes on my top list so far. I appreciate some broadleaf and Mexican San Andreas from time to time, but it's still not where I gravitate towards. It will kind of be what I go to reset my palate. Watching the kids in the pool, so mainly listening in. Right on. I appreciate you, Matt. My brother, Matt. Definitely value our friendship quite a lot. I love your content, man. Keep it up. You do an awesome live show as well, and I'm happy to call you my friend. I know that it's real busy with the keeping family and work stuff going. Funny. So Matt's going to help me on figuring out what I did wrong with the live stream, trying to bring Javi on. When we got some time, we're going to test it out and try to get it to where I could start getting my scheduled guests on. I want to learn on how Carpy throws the videos on the screen at the end of recommended videos. I want to learn how to add a moderator, especially when Tara's in here. She could kind of keep either posting the comments to the screen, or if I ever get somebody that's being rude, to kick them out or on timeout. Luckily, I haven't really had any of that. There's been a couple comments that I am not a fan of, but I definitely have a hard time of keeping up on the comment. That's something that I want to make sure when I'm doing the lives with friends that I'm able to keep the chat involved. We could totally just do pre-recorded, but I like when I could talk to you guys. It definitely fills in the time, because a lot of times I'd be smoking in the Discord where somebody else is smoking or just hanging out, and y'all keep it going. I appreciate you. But I'm still really thinking about that half wheel news, because we learned from Shaunicus that proposed plan for California seems to have made it into law. So if cigars that want to be in the market have not paid the $1,000 to make it on the registration list, very likely they won't be able to be imported. I don't know what's going to happen to cigars that are already in shops. It's probably going to make it really hard for us to get our online orders. We have a lot of California smokers in the community, and I don't think we've been giving this the proper attention. The Cigar Rights of America, CRA, didn't really fight against this. I know that it's probably something to do with the flavor ban, where they banned a lot of the tobacco vape products that were targeted towards kids. which, yeah, kids under 21, you are too young to be smoking. You got to wait till you're 21. But somehow premium cigars got lumped into that. So we know that big production cigars where they're making millions of them, they're probably going to pay the $1,000. A lot of our small batch boutique or the limited edition smokes, the one and done for the year, they're probably not going to pay that 1,000. So we're going to get pretty creative on how we're going to have to get stuff. We'll have to figure that out going into 2026. But yeah, overall, good construction. The sweet cap is basically gone. It's still holding that bready cashew butter note. I like this cigar. Do I have a top fans going on? Yeah, we got some experience going on. Thank you guys for interacting with the chat. I appreciate it a lot. I wish that there was a way to just save Discord videos, but that's kind of the safe space for us to smoke and not worry about what we say on camera. So this is my way to kind of share the smoking time. I try not to smoke too fast. Sometimes when I'm enjoying the cigar too much, I won't be letting it rest and cool down. Kind of, if you have a hard time holding on the cigar at the end, it's a little too hot and you're smoking too fast, especially if you're getting that cone. You are probably smoking a little too fast. This one's probably just barely balanced. But pretty good. I am not going to finish this all the way. We will do a quick scoring and we'll be smoking the second cigar real soon. The second cigar I've ever smoked, the Undercrown Shade. That one is the one that kept me in the game. I am going to rate this a B tier. Definitely don't mind smoking it. We'll pick up one here or there every so often. I definitely want to try it in another size or the different blend. And the experiment to try to get the sweet cap off. Get a Twitch and stream there too. Yeah, me and my wife have some experience with Twitch. I think that probably makes sense. I just like that a lot of my content is already here on YouTube, and I think I've lost 2 videos during all the crackdowns. I like that in Twitch you can monetize. Not that I do this for monetization, but it does help to be able to make sure that I'm upgrading stuff like microphone, camera, lighting, make sure that I could get some of the smokes that I don't have to shoot some videos. So maybe we go do some Twitch. I don't really want to go do Rumble, but Twitch I'm familiar with. So we'll start looking into that. I think that streaming from there is probably doable. I just would still like to save it on YouTube. So hopefully we can figure that out. But B tier, if you see it, check it out. Especially if you're a retro hail smoker, it kind of completes the blend. On the palate just alone, it's not enough going on. But it's not an offensive cigar. They got good construction. They're not too expensive, especially if you get them on an online deal. I'm really surprised. I thought the sweet cap was going to be too offensive for me, but I like it. Thank you for who got it. For me, you asked for me not to share too much of that you hooked me up, but you know who you are. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a quick little 40-minute video. I like doing the lives. I hate editing. So, 3 years smoking. I still enjoy my first cigar. Put your first cigar in the comments. Thanks for watching. Been smoking.